Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with another best of 5 series in between the two pro players from the South Korean scene. We have a great engagement in between one of the best Terrans spawning here in the lower right as the red Terran. It is of course MARU, believed to be now even the best Terran player, but of course there's other like Beyond, like Bunny and so on, even Cure. Let's have a look at his opponent here, spawning in the upper left as the blue Zerg. It is Dark, also considered one of the best Zergs, but yeah, let's not forget Rogue, let's not forget Serral or Raynor. But yeah, Dark always showing a strong matchup against any other pros. And let's just see what exactly they have prepared. It is a best of 5, the games have been played in 2022. So very recently, around May I believe it was. Sadly, I don't know from which tournament this has been taken. But yeah, we're up for a great series here as Dark is opening up with straight a fast expansion. Also sending out of course his overlords, given the fact that MARU is pretty much known for proxy barracks harassment. But yeah, no such thing from MARU yet, as he's opening up here pretty standard supply depot into barracks just to close the door here from the front. His gas is also up, so we might see some Reaper harassment really soon. By let's see how things will unfold. Let's see what the strategy is going to be. We are continuing with an extractor, with a spawning pool, so some Zerglings with some Banings could be an option, but Dark is also known for any timing pushes with those Ravagers and Roaches. Queens could also be an option to push, some Nidus Worms could also be. So many strategies for the Zerg against the Terran. The Terran also has some nice strategies with as Marines, for example, with Stim. Hellions could be used. Even a battlecruiser rush MARU has shown us in previous replays on this channel. Let's just see what they will do, as the SCV of course has to check this expansion from Dark. In case there wouldn't have been an expansion here, MARU would have pretty much known that there will be an early harassment coming towards him, so his expansion could have been then cancelled. No such thing, as his expansion is halfway done. The first Marine is also out chasing some overlords, and this one overlord already in some trouble. Let's check the build order from MARU. He's going into a factory, might continue with a starport, so once again it's going to be a 1-1 build order, 1 barracks, 1 factory and 1 starport, but this could of course also be changed into many more barracks. Yeah, let's see what MARU's decision is going to be, as the first overlord is about to fall. But no, those two Zerglings really nicely timed by Dark, saving this one overlord and killing the Queen. Even yet another expansion here for Dark, so Dark pretty much going to prepare his economy game, his macro oriented game. Of course, no tier 2 upgrade yet for him. It's opening up here pretty standard, and very nice save by Dark with his overlord. Let's check MARU once again. There it is, there's that starport. Of course, starport not much needed for those Terrans, as they will harass with those medivacs. We even see 2 Hellions now being built. We do know how strong Hellions are early on against any Zerg, and here they come. Let's see where exactly MARU is going to decide to attack. We have a Roach Warrant, those Roaches, perfect counter against those Hellions, and nice spread of Dark with those overlords. So he sees exactly what is happening around the map. He's when an harassment is coming towards his way, he needs to be careful into this area. He might need a overlord or 2 here, just in case some medivacs are coming. Some Zerglings are being prepared here for Dark. Gas is also being prepared. Roach Warrant is about to finish, as in come the 4 Hellions for MARU. Let's see if they can do some damage against Dark's economy. We do have a nice spread out of those Queens. Queens are very tanky against those Hellions. Let's have a look. MARU is just going to drive straight through. Drones have to be put nicely being spreaded by Dark, but still so much splash damage. So in the end 5 drones will fall. Might take out more than just 1 Hellion is being left alive. With 5 drones, of course, MARU would have wanted many more drone kills. 5 is not really the result he wanted against 4 last Hellions. Nice save here as well. Let's have a look. MARU clearing now those overlords. Let's check his main. He's continuing with mass bio, so it is going to be a mass with Marines into Marauders, perhaps supported of course by those medivacs. And yeah, Dark still continuing of course with some spores. does of course know that some medevac harassment is perhaps coming towards his way. This is exactly why he leaves those overlords really nicely spread. So basically he has a vision all around the map. MARU still roaming around with his Vikings, still tries to kill many more overlords and prepares here perhaps another launch. We do also have a Banshee, and Banshee are really nice unit to have, of course, against roaches, against Zerglings. No anti-air, not that much anti-air for Dark, just a Spore Crawler and some Queens. And finally the tier 2 is about to finish for Dark, quite around the 5 minute and 30-second mark. Let's have a look. MARU still on the chase, but yeah, look how tanky this Roach is against those Helens, so perfect counter of course. But yeah, Roaches can't attack air, so Banshee going to have quite some fun here. Even Cloak might have been done. You can see of course the upgrades here in the upper left part. In case I'm missing something, Stim is of course being done, Shield and so on. Even one weapons upgrades. Wings with 1-1 upgrades, really strong early on with that Stim and even with shield combats. So yeah, MARU taking this expansion, not harassing, just roaming around with his Viking, just keeping Dark at bay. So Dark still interesting enough, only at 3 bases. Pretty soon he's going to take the expansion here as well. He's playing very defensively here versus tier 2. He might go into some Mutalisk, it would be an interesting idea. He might go into some Lurkers, and yeah, finally he is also taking the expansion here into this location. Same can be said here for MARU worker wise. Dark having of course many more workers than the Terran. Army wise they're pretty much same. Let's have a look. One Banshee roaming around, but Dark seems to be prepared for that, already damaging this one Banshee. 2 kills for this Banshee. Should have been of course some Zerglings, and yeah, MARU just harassing a little bit, but the real threat is of course the Medivacs with those Marines. Let's see what target is going to be using. Perhaps he's going to be double attacking into this location with the Banshee and into the middle, but Dark is really nicely fortified. He really has great vision. His creep is also really nicely spread. So now we have a forced small engagement, but the Medivacs will of course take those Marines out of danger. And let's see, is MARU going to commit here? There's just a couple of Zerglings, so not that much here. One Spore, no range against those Medivacs, so this could be a good drop here for MARU. Let's have a look. The Queens will now be targeted really nicely as he's steaming out forward. Nice kiting here forward by MARU as he's sniping even drones. And more could come here for MARU, once again steaming up. Marines are of course really low now, but he manages to take them out. At least one group of Marines, one has fallen, so once again a pretty fair trade for Dark, not losing really that much against this harassment. Things now have to be repaired, but the Terran could of course launch many more of those harassment and even much stronger. Look at that, he has now 3 Medivacs. If this will be the next location. Dark also responding, clearing the middle of the map with Roaches, with Ravagers. Look, this could be a nice spot to attack, but those tanks in the back nicely hidden. Well, look what exactly is going to happen. Even the Medivacs have been left behind. Really strong timing push, lots and lots of Roaches. SCVs have to be pulled, but those Ravagers with those fireballs will of course target the tanks. One tank has fallen, but many tanks here in the upper ground, so Dark has no vision of that. Still 40 SCVs have been killed. So nice early harassment by Dark against MARU. Finally, after MARU killing in total 10 drones, Dark responding really nicely by killing 16 SCVs and delaying so much mining time for the Terran. So also nice game. We're closing at a 10-minute mark already. Really balanced game here in between the two pros. But those tanks really greatly hidden by the Terran. Of course, Dark has no vision there, and reinforcements are pouring in. Dark might try to add some Zerglings for some cannon further here. He's just once again delaying the mining time. SCVs have to repair that command center. And yeah, let's have a look. Finally, MARU on the retreat. He has to defend, can't harass his opponent. He has to defend especially those tanks. It's just 2 tanks. Well, we have 3 tanks, so of course those tanks really important against those Roaches and Ravagers. SCVs also being pulled, so those SCVs aren't mining. So very difficult situation for MARU, as even more and more Zerg units are spread in the middle of the map. And of course Dark tries to find a good position to attack against MARU. MARU at the same time spreading those tanks, knowing that he has to evade those Ravager fireballs. Let's have a look, more and more tanks are being added, and infantry is also here. Still the SCVs are being pulled by MARU, so really interesting strategy by him. He's even adding a sensor tower, but in comes Dark now finally with his Zergins in the front, with the Ravagers, with the Roaches, target with once again those tanks, the 3 tanks in the back, and those Marines kiting back forward here against those Roaches and Ravagers, now looking for the high ground, spinning once again up as he is able to push Dark back. But at what cost? This base hasn't been mined for such a long time, but hold on, MARU has an interesting answer here. He's just taking the 3 o'clock position, so yeah, never mind that expansion as MARU takes another location. Really smart decision here by him, as Dark now is going to of course focus his attack into this location. The Zerg has scouted this out, so let's have a look. Exactly, he's going to be doing great upgrades for both of them, and she sees of course everything as more and more Ravagers are being spawned by Dark. Let's have a look. Even Queens have made it here with that creep spread. In comes Dark once again, targeting the infantry. The siege tanks are now finally sieged up. 2 of them will take quite some damage. 1 has fallen. Dark is of course kiting back, he's microing his units back just to evade those siege tanks. Siege tanks really great counter against those Roaches and Ravagers, but they have to be protected, especially against those Ravager balls. Well, let's have a look. Scans do go out. Dark takes another expansion. He might try to snipe this expansion with the Ravagers. Let's have a look. Currently nice micro game here in the middle of the map, as MARU holds. Not only that he holds, but he has added a command center here into this location, so both players at the same worker account. Interestingly enough, the Terran has made it now also to 73, even 74 workers. It's nice economic game for MARU. It should be at least. Scan goes out, he sees the lair. Hold on, this is a hive, and he sees the lurker then, so we will see some lurkers from Dark against that bio. Really strong. Yeah, let's have a look how things once again will unfold. Queens now to back up those units. Dark still tries to punch somehow through, and as Dark is now currently close to being maxed out, same can be said for MARU really soon, as the tanks are now moving forward. He has vision. Have a look, so much splash damage, really nicely done. Dark also tries to respond with those fireballs from the Ravagers. And let's have a look how things will unfold, as MARU, I believe, is slowly but steadily going to try to push forward. He knows of course that this expansion, and especially this expansion, is really important for the Zerg. I believe this should be his next target along with this one. Look, slowly but steadily the infantry moves forward. The tanks are also supporting the infantry, so it's just 1 medivac. Hold on, it's actually more and more medivacs, 6 of them. Nice kiting back and forward. Interestingly enough, he actually targeted one of his own Marines. Perhaps the APM is so high. Let's have a look. Great position for MARU on the high ground, but he also eats some Ravagers attacks. But he looks like he's going to push forward. The position is pretty good. He is on the high ground. He has to spread, of course, the units. The tanks are in the back, dealing damage left and right, so MARU attacking on 2 bases. 7 drones have been killed at the same time. A nice counter attack by Dark, but it's just a couple of Roaches. As this expansion has been sniping, the drones will fall as well. We even see some Liberators now being added by MARU, so MARU finally being able to attack the first expansion for Dark. Dark responding by adding another expansion and trying to bust here through with some Roaches, but there were of course some Liberators, or at least there should have been like some Liberators. But yeah, the real action is happening here. Lurkers are being scanned. The blinding clouds are pretty good here by Dark, as the defense is also really nice with those Lurkers. Let's have a look. More and more fireballs being added. 16 drones have been killed. More and more Ravagers are being added by Dark, but his expansion looking like is about to fall, so the mission is pretty much complete for MARU, as he takes down 2 expansions, 2 very important expansions for Dark. And yeah, this one will be very soon mined out. This one has just started mining, so pretty good position. The Terran as those Vipers with those blinding clouds, of course, great counter against those siege tanks. Also the parasitic bomb against those medivacs will be really great for the Zerg, as he's now pushing forward with really a strong unit composition. Lurkers with Ravagers and Roaches. Let's have a look. Is he going to be making something happen? Lurker of course will be strong against all of those Marines. The scan is available and the tanks have of course the higher range against those units. So right now we do see a Lurker, just a casual Lurker here, sniping some SCVs, but he will be killed. Tries of course somehow to make it here through. We have a sensor tower now being added by the Terran, and yet Dark still hasn't remade this expansion. He's now just barely making, so his worker count has really plummeted here, really strong. And yeah, MARU quite in the advantage now, but let's have a look. Of course, if those Lurkers will get some good shots, if the Vipers will add those parasitic bombs and those blinding clouds, the Zerg army could be of course really dangerous now. MARU once again knows how important this expansion is. That's why he's pushing up, but look at that, those Lurkers just clearing here MARU away. MARU not paying attention, losing so many units. Same can be said here. Dark also on the rise here with some Zerglings MARU has to pick up. So yeah, MARU a little bit clumsy here, losing quite a platoon of Marines with Marauders. And let's have a look. Good scan, nice EMP. The Vipers have no energy, and wait sniping, as we do have those ghosts now being added by MARU. Of course, ghosts really strong, especially in the late game with those snipes. Have a look, this could be great addition here. He might even try to go for a nuclear launch. It would be very interesting to see in the late game, as slowly but steadily we're closing at the 20-minute mark. So MARU holds. He needs to be careful not to lose those units, and he's playing once again really safe. He's adding more and more command centers. He will very likely want to take this expansion, and let's have a look. If he's going to be successful, he might even try to take this one as well. He's trying of course to snipe some workers with medivacs. This expansion could be a nice target for him, but there's Lurkers for. So yeah, things finally have settled down a little bit. Both players are repositioning, regrouping, adding more and more units. Army wise pretty much the same, upgrade wise also pretty much the same. And yeah, economic wise now Dark finally deciding to go for 81 workers, as he wishing of course perhaps to defend, perhaps to secure that expansion here. So let's have a look. MARU once again on the move out. There were Lurkers here, there is detection available, and yes, scans will go out, but it's just a couple of Lurkers, so they will be very likely snapped by Dark. But hold on, as I said, it's the reinforcements are coming in. It's just many Zerglings as MARU has to pick up. So nice defense by Dark. MARU once again trying to kill those expansion with that harassment, with that medivac harassment with the Marines. Many Terrans do this. So let's have a look. MARU now taking his expansion here. We're securing it. It's a really nice beeline being formed here by tanks, by so many expansion. Really investing really a lot, just in case one expansion has fallen, second one will replace it. And let's have a look with our Thunder, like with Zerglings in the front. So many SCVs also have to be pulled back. 13 SCVs have been killed, even 50 now. The tank has fallen as well, so really strong engagement this time by Dark against MARU. So quite interesting game between the two pros. As Ravagers it is with Lurkers, but we do have Ghosts with sniping is going on. So many snipes. Remember, the Terran is just trading energy against units, kills. So yeah, energy against minerals and gas, really nice stuff. And we do see some Liberators now being added by MARU. Of course, the fact that Dark went for those Ravagers and Roaches, the Liberators will of course be now the answer from the Terran. So let's have a look if Dark is going to transition into some Corruptors. It would be of course a great idea against those Liberators. Let's have a look. Great sniping once again. So really a very valuable unit to have late on. So many Ghosts. MARU it is. MARU might transition straight into Mass Liberators tanks with Ghosts. It will be a very interesting Idea Dark takes the upper right part as we are closing at the 20-minute mark, so really interesting game. Very long first game in between the two pro players. Let's have a look how things will once again unfold. Let's have a look once again. These lurkers did add some hydros against air, against those liberators. Actually, he has added really many hydros against that, so really strong stuff here by Dark. We can even see a very high APM at 600 almost, so really strong Dark now. Massive amounts of scans do go out here by MARU as he's still staying back. He's moving now forward with those ghosts, wishing of course to snipe some units. But yeah, let's have a look at his unit composition. Four liberators, a couple of 5 siege tanks as Dark changes now the direction. Is he going to launch an attack straight into the middle? Just roaming around, just wishing for MARU to move out, but MARU of course has to play defensively with those siege tanks, with those liberators, just waiting for the Zerg to make the first move. Let's have a look. Same time Dark, MARU now can snipe this expansion, but his units are quite spread out around the map, so he needs to be careful. In comes Dark straight in the middle of the map. Of course Dark knows this, but those ghosts with those snaps once again killing everything they can, overseers and lurkers. The expansion has been sniped, so good job here by MARU. Things have settled down a little bit, but MARU at only 55 workers against the 72 by Dark. And let's see if this is going to be a setback for him, as he's now just laying back, playing really defensively. And yeah, let's see what the next steps are going to be, as Dark once again feeling to be a little bit more pushing here forward against MARU. MARU of course waits for him in a good position with those tanks, with those boosts, just to snipe the units. Let's see what exactly is going to happen, as MARU is just now feeling more confident. Liberation zones are being added, the infantry is in the front, some zones do get sniped. In comes the medivacs, but the Dark responding with the same attack here in the middle of the map, straight sniping some units, going for those command centers, but in the end, sadly for him, he loses this one expansion, and he might even lose more and more workers if MARU is paying attention. Meantime, he has to pull back, so MARU really with a great harassment sniping this one expansion, as Dark has to rebuild. So Dark forced the attack. Perhaps he wanted MARU to come back, but in the end MARU just stayed there just to snipe the expansion, and now finally sniping also some workers. And in the end, Dark is also fallen to 63 workers. Really strong stuff now. Dark is transitioning straight into Zerglings with Banelings. So of course Banelings, the answer against those Marines, against those Brothers. Let's see if this is going to work out even against those Ghosts. Of course, that splash damage can of course tear through the cloaked units from MARU. Let's have a look how things will unfold. MARU once again on the attack. He adds of course a turret just in case some Nucleus will be added, and in comes Dark here with those lurkers sniping so many units here. 2 SCVs, but so many tanks have fallen for MARU. At the same time, Dark now moves forward with so many Zerglings, so there are no defenses for the Terran. The way is pretty much open, so many supply depots will very likely be targeted by Dark just to keep him supply blocked. The command center has fallen as well. The MARU loses a refinery or 2, but so going to be losing some supply depots. Really great harassment. 19 workers fallen for MARU. MARU drops to 35 workers. This army, however, is really much higher than the Zergs, but the economy from the Zerg is much better than now the one from the Terran. But in the end, the Terran also takes this expansion. Workers are still being left behind, as once again MARU knows the importance from this expansion here, as it should be of course his next target. Let's have a look. Still roaming around here, some units here for the Zerg, but they will be of course taken out by MARU. As yeah, Dark still tries to find a good position. Now MARU once again is going to commit, going to target perhaps straight this hatchery. Dark a little bit late to respond. Once again he's going to be losing this hatchery. In comes Dark with a great attack with those Zerglings. Wars are here, lots and lots of splash damage, liberation zones, tanks in the back. One Tor has fallen, but so many, yes, Zerglings have fallen here as well for Dark. As yes, slowly but steadily, both of them at the same worker, at the same army counter. Income those ghosts now, they show finally their value, and income those overseer just to target somehow those ghosts, but they're pretty much out of range. Now they're even getting healed by those medivacs, so those ghosts really valuable, as they will be sniping more and more units. It's again nice job by MARU, as he's now pushing forward with the liberators, liberation zone. He knows, of course, he has to. If he snipes this expansion once again, will have the advantage into the game. And yeah, Dark has to retreat. At the same time, Dark is now finally pushing forward with many Zerglings. Lurkers are here, some Vipers in the air, as even 3 SCVs are being laid out, but in come the liberation zones, the tanks and the infantry, especially those ghosts. It's again on the rise here for MARU, pushing Dark here nicely back. So this expansion has been held. Really good job here by MARU. Let's see if he's going to commit. Going now for the lower left part, perhaps very likely, just to take out this expansion, as it will be the next important mining expansion for the Zerg. And yeah, army wise, really strong stuff by both players. 136 for Dark, 144 liberation zones are being prepared for MARU, as he's very likely once again going to be pushing here forward. Let's see, Dark not really having that much anti-air, just one Raptor, but he gets taken out. At the same time, there has been a drop here with Marauders, with Marines, and they will once again snipe this one hatchery. So really great snipe by MARU. At the same time, Dark has to answer somehow. He's going for the middle of the map once again, going to make it here soon with his units. In comes MARU with his defense force, with those snipers, but we have some parasitic bombs, so much damage is being taken towards. We even have one nuclear launch. Is it going to fall against Dark? Let's have a look. Dark is pulling back out of the danger, so really nice job. At the same time, Dark destroying here the front entrance from MARU, so MARU in some trouble. Let's have a look how he's going to respond, of course, with those snipers, sniping as much as he can here, but the lurkers are perfectly being positioned here on the high ground, on that ramp. In comes the snipe once again, as so much damage is being taken by Dark. Sometimes Dark is holding the position, but in come the tanks, so Dark has to answer with some parasitic bombs, with some blinding clouds. So really interesting job now. Dark, of course, seeks the high ground, but many more lurkers are falling for him. Okay, let's have a look. More and more lurkers here into this location, but they will be sniped. We even have some Vikings in the air. It was a good idea by Dark. At the same time, in come the corruptors. We do have Vipers, we do have ghosts. They're trying, of course, to take out the units from MARU. But in the end, after all the damage has been done, MARU all of a sudden at 127 army versus the 18. Still Dark having more workers than his opponent. So he might try to add some Zerglings, perhaps he might try to add some other units, the other Zerglings. But no, in the end, Dark of course understands that MARU has the advantage. This last push from MARU would have been devastating. So yeah, MARU taking here game number 1, a really long game, 28 minutes. Let's just jump straight into, and we're back with game number 2, this time on 2000 atmospheres in between the two pro players. So very interesting game number 1, a back and forth game. I still didn't know who would win it in the end. MARU proving a little bit too strong, those liberators and especially those ghosts proving way too strong against Dark's army. Yeah, the corruptors were a little bit too late for Dark, and yeah, MARU just had way too much. So let's have a look how this game is going to unfold, this time on 2000 atmospheres. So in the upper right, in the blue, it is Dark and his opponent. In the lower left, in the red, it is MARU, both of them from South Korea, of course. Many pros from that region. We see MARU once again not deciding to do proxy barracks, pretty much standard open up by depot into barracks and into gas, as Dark also going here straight for his last expansion. So yeah, the overlords on the hunt for those proxy barracks, still no such thing. Even a drone is being sent out by Dark just to see in case MARU will decide to proxy. The tower is also being launched to see some location from proxy, but no such thing as MARU. He's of course known for his proxy build order, but in the end this time he plays it really normally, really safe, and very likely he's going to be launching one of those SCVs for scouting purposes. It's going to be the SCV that has finished the barracks, and at the same time he might try to take the expansion. So pretty much the same build order, just like in game number 1 for both players. Let's have a look at the main from Dark a little bit. Gas has been done. There's that spawning pool. The expansion is also about to finish. Let's also see the timing from the second expansion in case there will be one, as in comes the SCV. Of course the SCV very important, just like I told you in game number 1, just to see if there is an expansion or not, so he sees it. So this will of course give him more confidence here for his expansion to finish. Let's have a look. There is that second barracks for MARU, so we have a difference here. He's not adding a factory, but this will be of course scouted by Overlord. So 2 barracks for MARU. It looks like he's heading straight into mass bio, straight into mass marines. He would be wise to have a starport, but he needs a factory for that. Let's have a look what exactly his plans are going to be. There's the factory, will be continued, I'm pretty sure, with a starport. Now the Reaper is coming in, tries of course to harass a little bit. He might take out, no, he's actually not going to take out, it's just a timing game by timing here. Both players are trying of course to hurt each other, but this one Reaper won't be successful against this queen. So yeah, still harassing a little bit, almost taking out this queen. And let's sorry, this drone. So let's have a look how things will unfold as Dark decides to take this expansion. MARU sees this, of course. He did delay the expansion a little bit. In the end it was just a couple of seconds, 10 to 20 seconds perhaps. So yeah, not that really much. Let's have a look how next steps are going to be. Tech lab for him and reactor for those greens. Still I don't see a starport, so let's have a look. Is he actually going to walk towards Dark? But no, of course he has to add, like many Terrans, he has to add that starport. We're going to be seeing perhaps a timing push with some medivacs and mass stimmed marines. It could be a very strong push, but that we already have around 8 marines and more are being produced. So this could be really deadly, as Dark is going to straight for his macro unit composition, for his macro strategy, but this is going to be very late, as his units will be really low. Let's have a look. It's 50 army versus 12. That army should be just a couple of Zerglings, and the hope from Dark of course will be those queens, as this one Overlord is also very much important for him, just to scout any move out by the Terran. The Terran might even try to walk the way towards the base. There we have it, 2 medivacs and more marines. Steam is also about to finish. You can see of course the production tab, and we do see roaches now. So roaches of course good counter for the Zerg against those marines, but remember it's still marines with medivacs. Let's have a look. Here we go. The first group is being picked up. We're closing at the 5-minute mark. Let's see if MARU can make something happen with this. Of course Dark is expecting a drop, but he doesn't really have that many resources here to defend. Just 2 queens, just a couple of Zerglings. Let's see what the target from MARU is going to be. Dark is also expecting an attack here, so this is why he leaves those roaches, and MARU is just going to fall here with those marines with stim. But yeah, as soon as you see those roaches are really great against those marines. So perhaps this location here would have been better, but then again Dark adds those queens, so they pretty much, I'm sure that they have studied each other replays, so they know the timings really well. This could have also been a nice target, not really that much defended, but there's creep everywhere. The units would have been really fast to respond. We see 1 mine now being added. Let's have a look. It could be a timing push both left and right, or in the middle, as MARU will very likely once again multitask with his medivacs, with his marines. Medivac is closing in here into this location, and yeah, like I said, not that really many defenses, just a couple of roaches, a spore. Let's see if he's going to be successful. So really great mind game by both players. Both players see each other. Now with this overload, the roaches are on standby, so is the spore. MARU really not making anything happen, not getting quite to Dark's economy, not doing any damage. Really greatly defended by Dark, left and right. Nice game by him after losing game number 1. Let's see, is MARU somehow going to regroup his units? No, he's just taking his second expansion. Let's check his main, adding more and more marines, even one tank and some medivacs. So I try to snipe one roach, but even that gets out microed here by Dark. Really strong stuff. Of course, some creep will be cleared by the Terran, at least that, but yeah, in the end Dark really defending really nicely. So such a harder game here for MARU. Punch through S is of course also preparing his defenses just in case the Zerg is going to come with a timing push with some roaches, ravages, and even some Zerglings. Let's have a look. One, even two roaches have been sniped. Nice job here by MARU as Dark is now finally establishing here this Naga tower. Let's have a look at the next steps. A little bit of a gameplay, a mind gameplay here by both players. And let's have a look when Dark is going to, or if he's going to expand. Perhaps this location will be taken by him really soon, but there is a mine there, so Dark might just try to prepare a strong push with the massive amounts of roaches. We do see him already at 105 army, so MARU has to retreat just to defend. But is it going to be enough? This is a really scary army by the Zerg. Could even add more and more Ravagers just in case the Terran has some air units. Currently he's just clearing the rocks, and now finally those Ravagers will pop out really soon. Let's have a look what exactly his plans are. He might try to bust here soon, but there are some tanks. These tanks are so much important, just like in game number 1. Currently Dark is just clearing the way, perhaps waiting for his reinforcements for his Zerglings, and now he's attacking, but at the same time we see a Nidus Worm here, so MARU has to defend left and right. Really great multitasking by both players. And yes, Dark is retreating now. MARU has fended this off, even attacking this worm, and at the same time we have another worm here into this location. Creep is also nicely being spreaded by those queens, as this worm should be able to finish, and the reinforcements should be able to pour out really soon. And there are just a couple of roaches, really nicely done by Dark. At the same time Dark has taken this expansion, so while attacking he is expanding now, once again attacking the middle of the map, but at the same time another Nidus Worm into the main from MARU. MARU is here, he has to pull some SCVs, interesting enough. I don't know what that was all about. Perhaps a misclick. 2 SCVs have fallen, and a little bit of mining time has been lost here by MARU, as well as Dark is just establishing the middle position, but the Terran is defending really nicely against all of those units. We see yet another Nidus Worm by the Zerg, so massive amounts of Nidus Worms here for Dark, just to make his army much more mobile. And yeah, the answer from MARU is of course adding more and more tanks. And let's see, those Zerg units are really much hurt. Steam is going up. Dark here in the front, but a small choke point giving him such a bad spot there. Those tanks have dealt really massive amounts of splash damage, as he has to retreat now. Have a look if this Nidus Worm is going to make something happen here. No, but it looks like MARU going to take that one as well, as he's going to expand also here into this location. So MARU in the end nicely defending, pushing here Dark back. Hard game for Dark as well. You can see the losses here. Dark of course losing more and more than his opponent. Tanks are now once again sieged up. They will be dealing so much splash damage against those units. So yeah, really interesting game once again by both players. As we close, we have passed the 10-minute mark. Steam once again is going up, as Dark has to retreat. He's luring those marines into those fireballs. Those players really nicely microing their units. As you know, Dark tries to attack onto a different location. There is a tank and 2 here, even some infantry. So once again, great defense here by MARU, as he's kiting back forward actually here towards those enemy units. Nice fireballs by Dark, but they're getting dodged by MARU. Really nicely done here, as MARU is pushing more and more forward. Really great stuff by MARU. Such a nice stuff. But we see yet another Nidus Swarm, and this time there aren't really that many units to defend. Actually, there are no units at all, so this worm could deal some massive amounts of damage. We see more and more barracks come out. Finally, there is this one tank, even the SCV has to attack, and luckily here for MARU, the Nidus Swarm has fallen. At the same time, Dark attacking into this location. There's two tanks here a little bit exposed, so in come the reinforcements. The tanks have fallen, but yeah, luckily MARU in position to defend, as he has taken this expansion as well and turned it into a planetary fortress. So let's see if Dark will transition once again into something else. Is perhaps MARU going to transition into some ghosts? We see nice kiting back and forth, but this time the Zerg army looks much more scarier, as only the one tank is able to push them away. Really great defense once again for MARU. This is now also pushing here forward with two medivacs. Let's see if Dark has some reinforcements, some defenses here. Of course he's going to snipe one medivac, and now going for the second one here as well. Dark still of course having some units behind just to defend. And let's see, Dark is once again changing the location, even expanding here into this location. Interesting enough, not taking the upper left part. Yeah, just zoning around here. Let's have a look. MARU now on the move out with those mines. The mines of course really strong, especially against those Zerglings. And those Marauders also really strong with those concussive shells. Let's have a look. Nice fungals now being used by Dark against MARU, as MARU has to retreat and heal up. Reinforcements are coming in for Dark, so MARU in a little bit of trouble here in the middle of the map. But the same can be said for MARU, as he's also bringing some reinforcements, so Dark just has to keep here this location. The Marauders are also really strong against those roaches, as more and more is being added by both players. And let's have a look if MARU can somehow snipe this expansion. It would be really great by him. We have so many mines, 4 mines for them, not that many siege tanks, no liberators, just massive amounts of marines and marauders. Now we do have some Zerglings, but the mines are here and they will get some good connections. Nice kiting back and forth by both players, and we even have the first ghosts out on the map. We do see infestors, so infestors with fungals, the answer by Dark versus MARU. So there it is, nice fungal once again, lots and lots of splash damage, as MARU is still fighting here forward, but his units are really slowed down now by this fungal. So great strategy this time being used by Dark with those fungals, even being able to clear those mines with those fireballs. So really stronger, much stronger game by Dark. MARU takes here this expansion, as once again he's moving in with his ghosts, with his snipers, sniping some units left and right. Those infestors are really important to get sniped, so lots and lots of fungals once again being used against the Terran. So nice engagement by both players. We see once again snipers ready, and let's have a look. They're going to be taking out more and more Ravagers, and now they're finally going for those infestors, or are they? So infestors, not that much energy being left for them, and the reinforcements are exactly on time for MARU. The same can be said for Dark, which just a couple of roaches. And let's have a look how things will unfold. Reinforcements coming in left and right for MARU. Snipes do go out, so many workers, so many units have fallen for Dark, and now MARU feels even more and more confident to push forward. And there it is, there's the GG, as MARU takes game number 2. So it is currently 2-0. Let's just jump straight into game number 3. And we're back with game number 3. Currently MARU leading with 2-0. So this score of course is wrong here. Let's have a look. This time Glittering Ashes it is as a map. We have spawning now in the lower left. In the blue it is Dark, and his opponent in the upper right in the red it is MARU. MARU once again opening up here with a supply depot. Let's have a look at the build order from Dark. Is he going to change something? Is he going to try to be a little bit more elusive against MARU? Perhaps he's going to try a rush with some Zerglings. It would be a possibility. What the strategies are going to be, and the build order once again, is he going to differ than game number 1? Let's see what both of them will consider be doing. Still we have the same open up here by MARU, blocking the entrance. Pretty interesting with a barracks and a supply depot. Dark also going for his fast expansion force. No spawning pool, no extractor for him. Pretty much both players staying at the same strategy. Overall are moving out just to check the proximity for some barracks, but yeah, once again no such thing. By MARU. Let's see if Dark loses. Of course this game he's out of the tournament, so let's see, he really has to win this one just to make it one win game, and even later on perhaps he will be able to tie up the series. It would be strong to see a full set of 5 games in between them. Let's have a look. They will prepare for us. Overlord is already making it here really nicely through. SCD once again pulled out just to see the expansion from Dark. And yeah, Dark, like I told you, pretty much with the same build order, extractor into spawning pool, and there is his fast expansion. Expansion also going up here for MARU, so both of them with the same strategy. Let's see, is MARU once again going to add another barracks? Yes indeed, there it is. So just like in game number 1, not going for barracks, factory, starport, it's going for barracks, and now they're deciding to block the entrance. Let's have a look at the timing from the second expansion for Dark, or is he going for a second expansion? Let's see. Is that expansion about to be finished for MARU, and there is that second expansion for Dark into this location. So yeah, there it is. Spawning pool is also being finished. We can see the production tab here in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something. So yeah, the pretty standard open up, no harassment by both players. As yes, we do have this command center about to finish. Let's check the main once again from MARU. This should be his factory, should be followed up just like in game number 1 with a starport with those medivacs, as the harassment will soon begin. I'm pretty sure of it. MARU has shown us how strong medivacs with marines can be early on. So yes, Steam is also being researched by MARU. Speed is also being researched by Dark. Let's check once again the expansion. Nothing out of the ordinary worker-wise. Both players pretty much at the same worker amount, as Dark is of course going to try to connect the creep in between the two bases. And yeah, let's see how things will unfold. More and more marines are now once again being produced. There's the factory, and we should be seeing a starport, or our there indeed is that starport. One unit does make it here, so it is a Reaper, but it will be of course held off. Of course that Reaper is really late here for MARU, just roaming around a little bit. But yeah, MARU pretty much prepared this time with some queens, so they had the Reaper just for some scouting purposes a little bit. There's still no harassment. So once again a nice build order by MARU. As he's preparing his attack, he's pretty much going to swap position in between the factory and the starport just to create 2 medivacs at a time. Let's have a look really soon. This is about to finish. Of course you need the factory to build a starport. And hold on, we actually do see some units making here through for Dark. It's just a couple of Zerglings. MARU should of course be fine with this mini wall in and those marines. So yeah, we're closing it at the 5-minute mark. Lots and lots of marines. It is once again for MARU. Dark sees this. The walling is also really nicely made by MARU, just in case there's mass Zerglings coming towards his base. A couple of Zerglings now. For some banings would have been a interesting idea for Dark. And let's see if this is indeed going to be the answer by him. Currently we see those medivacs. Dark sees the move out, so he knows exactly what is coming towards his way. And I believe MARU is going to once again unload them around here. He never makes it quite through. I guess he fears those attacks from those queens. This is exactly why he's taking out the upper ground, as Zerglings will take quite some damage, and now he's just going to clear those queen eggs more and more. Nice harassment by the Terran, not going for the economy, just wishing to clear those queen eggs, wishing to not allow the Zerg to expand more and more around the map with that creep. Really good job by MARU. Of course he's really not having that many chances against so many queens and Zerglings. Let's have a look how things will once again unfold. We saw pretty much the same game, just like in game number 2. The very timing is pretty much the same. Even Dark now preparing, of course, his defenses, knowing what exactly is coming towards his way, leaving some units left and right. This time, however, adding another hatchery, so interesting enough. And at the same time, he's also taking the 9 o'clock position. The MARU once again moves here forward, but the defenses are really strong. Dark, his Queen X will fall, but the defenses look really strong as he's now going into mass Zerglings with Queens. And we do see a difference, we don't see any Roaches or Ravagers. Dark deciding to go for mass Queens with Zerglings, and Zerglings can be really strong, especially backed up Banelings. MARU has to retreat, he knows now what he's facing, and if the creep spread is really strong by the Zerg player, his army could even be much more scarier, much more faster, as he's now sending out the first wave of Zerglings towards MARU. So let's see if he's going to make anything happen. Of course, the wall is really nice, so Zerg might try to add some Banelings. We do have an attack here, but at the same time much stronger attack. But Dark, he sees those, he sees the barracks, the Marines in the back, so he has to retreat. As slowly but steadily we're moving in for the 10-minute mark. So at the same time, once again, MARU tries to pull out with some mines. Those mines could of course deal massive amounts of economic damage here into the main from Dark. At the same time, as scan goes out, more and more creep eggs are being sniped as Dark is still roaming around. He tries of course to find a good position to bust here through, but MARU just keeps adding more and more of supply depots, creating a labyrinth here for Zerglings, and even some SCVs have fallen here. So we did see I missed here some Banelings make it here through. So look at that, Dark even trying more and more to add more and more Banelings. We do however see just a couple of mines, so MARU should be fine. If it would have been some Marines, he would have been in trouble. So those Banelings, perfect answer against those Marines with those SCVs. Even more and more SCVs are hurt, so another Baneling bust could come here through. Let's see what Dark's decision is going to be. Actually, he's pouring here through a good, nicely placed tank, dealing so much damage, but finally it gets surrounded and some great mine connections. But Dark is pushing here forward with all of his Zerglings, with all of his Banelings, as MARU is pretty much in the front with those Medivacs. I believe somewhere, yeah, there they are, but they're so late. And look at that, such a great move. Actually, MARU has to come back with his Medivacs to defend here against Dark, but look at that, Dark already sniping 39 workers, 10 workers fall for the Zerg as well. But in the end, so much economic damage has been dealt by Dark with those Banelings, with those Zerglings busting here through. That tank behind the wall wasn't enough, and the reinforcements are once again pouring in by Dark. So many Banelings, massive amounts of Banelings, and I'm pretty sure he wishes to snipe this expansion. And yeah, MARU realizes this as he has to pull out. MARU at 35 workers, the double amount of workers for Dark. So the next move, the next attack would have been really pretty much devastating against him. Let's just jump straight into game number 4. And we're back with game number 4 in between MARU and Dark. Currently the score is 2-1 for MARU, as I see him actually move out really strong now with a SCV. So this could be finally his first proxy attack against the Zerg. So we're very like, let's see where exactly he's going to choose to place that barracks. We're on Blackburn. Let's see what Dark's reaction towards that is going to be. Is he going to be lucky and scout it out? There is this Overlord, and in comes this one SCV. So let's check once again the path of the Overlord. Yeah, there it is. He's somehow going to cross here exactly the path from the SCV, so not that good of a spot. MARU, as the Overlord is slowly but steadily coming here towards his way, and there's that second SCV going for that second barracks. So luckily here for Dark, this will be scouted, so the timing is really important. I believe some drones will be pulled. Of course, there is no spawning pool, there is no extractor. And let's have a look if Dark, is he going to react? Is he going to show his Overlord? Is he not going to show his? Oh no, he's not going to show it, but he pretty much knows, and his reaction really prompt. 4, even 5 drones are being pulled immediately. Spawning pool much more faster. And yeah, there it is, the answer, just to snipe this one SCV. SCV already taking quite some damage, the second one also taking some damage. So only luck here for MARU might save him, but the SCV is dropping really, really low as one SCV has to retreat. Second one also retreating, so the drones have done their job. This barracks is not about to finish as one Marine might come out, but in the end it will be surrounded by all of those drones. So really, really nice, lucky scout here for Dark with his overlord. We see the first Marine. Perhaps it would have been cooler to have a Reaper. Reaper, of course, much faster as one drone is chasing this Marine away. Nice micro game once again, as MARU even feeling confident to expand. So no units for him. The first Zerglings should come out really, really soon for the Zerg. And yeah, let's have a look. Dark could have also cancelled this location as the two barracks. This one barracks has been actually killed. And yeah, MARU preparing a wall in. So let's have a look. Is it going to be a good start for Dark after a nice hold? Sniping this one barracks, only one barracks being left alive, now floating back home. Of course, MARU is going to try to find some time to buy some time with this one Reaper. Really, really fast unit. Not such a strong attacking unit, but very, very fast and really, really annoying. So let's have a look what the plans now are. Once again, a second barracks being added and yet another command center. So this time MARU with a, once again, different strategy. No factory, no starport. Straight greedy gameplay into another expansion for him after a failed attempt with this one proxy barracks. The proxy barrack is floating home, so yeah, MARU playing really, really safe, going for this orbital and adding another expansion here. I believe the SCV should come out really, really soon, as we do also see a starport. So, oh, hold on, this is actually the barracks here, so that was my bad. After we do have a barracks, a factory and a starport, so I was still wondering where's that SCV, where's he going to build that factory, that barracks, but yeah, in the end this is of course Starcraft 2, so I'm still getting used to it. We do see a reactor and a tech lab. Let's check the main from the Zerg. Nothing out of the ordinary. Is this a Baneling's nest? No, he's actually going for roaches. After Banelings worked out really, really well for him, he now decides to go for roaches once again. Let's see if this is going to work for him. We might see a timing push. First Hellions are also being prepared for MARU. We also see the first Viking, of course, just to snap this one Overlord away from here. It's a nice position by those Overlords here by him. We actually see the Reaper once again coming here through, but no damage has been taken by the Zerg, as he might even try to snipe this one Reaper. But no, luckily here for the Reaper, he makes it out alive. I believe he did kill some 2 drones. Luckily here for him, 2 drones have been killed. And let's have a look at the main. On the Terran, once again, more and more Hellions are being produced from the Terran, as we might see even a Hellion drop. But no, hold on, it's actually 4 Hellions for MARU moving out on the map, and their target should of course be this expansion. But yeah, there's roaches on the map, and roaches really, really strong and tanky against those Hellions. Actually quite a strong force of roaches. Drones have been pulled back, so the Dark should be able to hold this really, really nicely against his opponent. Still, MARU takes out some Overlords, is damaging the supply from Dark quite a little bit. MARU also trying to respond here, but spread is really, really nice for Dark. Let's have a look. He should of course have some units here, of course, to defend, just in case some medivacs do come here through. He has this one Spore, he has the Queen at the center. It is indeed a timing push, but we have grenades, and especially we have this one Banshee on the air. Even the Viking has landed. Dark is pretty much trying to commit. Of course, his roaches are really, really strong on the ground. Trying to go for some workers. Let's have a look if he's going to snipe something here. 4 SCVs have fallen already, even 5. So he's trying, of course, to take out as much as possible. 6 SCVs have fallen. In the end, MARU will hold, and he does, of course, use 6 workers. Worker-wise, Dark having 20 more workers than him. Looking really, really solid here. And let's have a look. Is he going to transition into Banelings, or is he going to stay at Roach Ravagers? We do have an evolution chamber, so we might see more and more upgrades going out. And see, of course, the production tab in the upper left part in case I'm missing something. And now he's finally taking his gold mine. And yeah, MARU still on the move out, still out with his Hellions, trying to make something happen. Not adding any medivacs yet. There it is. There's finally the first medivac, tank and some infantry. So a nice mix for the Terran, playing it quite defensively. We're closing it at the 10-minute mark. Dark still roaming the map, still securing his expansions, securing his gold mine really soon. A very important and strategic place for him. Of course, is going to add many more workers and many more units to guard this. Look, some gold is already being stolen by those drones. Some Hellions in the middle of the map doing queen eggs. Is here Dark responding with some roaches. Let's have a look. A nice wall in by MARU. He's not really wishing yet to take his gold expansion. We do see a pickup, so let's have a look where exactly MARU is going to attack. Should be this location. It's not really that much defensive. It's here for Dark. Just a couple of Zerglings, some queens left and right, but some queens actually leave now. So this could be really good for MARU, as it's going to drop those units straight into the Zerglings. But yeah, those units, those Zerg units, really fast onto creep. In come the reinforcements. We even see infestors once again, so some fungus will be casted. One infestor has been sniped, the second one as well. So nice job by MARU, taking out those infestors. A very important unit for the Zerg. Yeah, I believe Burrow hasn't been finished yet, so those infestors couldn't hide against those units. And we actually see MARU now feeling much more confident with his Hellbats, with his tanks, with his marines, as he's moving out once again on the map. Banshee is already also here. Let's have a look. Can he do something? The high ground is for Dark. In come the reinforcements from MARU. Steam is up, as Dark is going to, of course, try to defend his gold mine as much as possible. MARU with looking for a good position for his tanks. Some tanks already sieging up in the back. More and more tanks are being added. Drones have been pulled. So yeah, MARU with a great position here, making life really difficult for Dark. Dark tries to come in from the back. MARU is already there with some units. So great harassment by the Terran as he pushing here forward with his tanks, with his infantry. Some Ravager balls will fall. But yeah, the tanks are really nicely guarded by as Dark is expanding now into this location. Perhaps he's going to abandon this gold expansion. At the same time, gold is being taken by MARU. So MARU really strong here, pushing forward, sniping this one expansion. Dark responding immediately with another expansion. And we see now Dark on the high ground once again, but in comes MARU. Not all of his siegelings are sieged up, so Dark being much more mobile. MARU knows this as he's retreating. And even now Dark once again taking the expansion. Yeah, let's have a look. He leaves some units here, he leaves some marines with some medivacs, perhaps to snap some Morgas. At the same time, we might see once again him going for some multitask against his opponent. The gold mine is here for him. Let's have a look. Some units have fallen here for MARU, sadly, but we also see another drop being prepared by him. And let's have a look. The Zergling does scout this. In comes MARU, but there are lurkers. And yet there are no tanks here to defend the infantry. MARU, I'm pretty sure he's going to retreat here as well. Dark is going to be able to hold his expansion. And MARU might try to go for the main. It could be a possibility for him. Let's have a look. Roaches, lurkers it is now for Dark, as Dark might try a timing push here against MARU. We see a pickup. It could be a really strong push. It's really a doom drop here with many marines, marauders and medivacs straight into the main from Dark. Dark comes here with his reinforcements, but it looks like MARU just going to commit straight for that hive. So yeah, there it is. Stim, really important to have. Just snipes the hive and picks up his units. At the same time, he's trying to make something happen here once again at the gold mine, but the Zerg has some units being left behind. Even some parasitic bombs have been added by the Zerg. Yeah, 6 drones have been sniped at the same time. MARU taking some damages here, but the real damage has been dealt by this infantry. Sniping this one high, really important snipe for the Terran against the Zerg. The harassment is still continuing as he's moving forward with his marines, going to kill a couple of drones. Finally Dark reacting, the Spore has fallen as well, and even sniping this one gas, might snipe the second gas as well with the drone. So really nice harassment by MARU. This Dark wants to answer here, but there are siege tanks, there is infantry, so he has to pull back with the small Roach Ravagers combination. And let's see how things will unfold. Is he going to add some Broodlords? Broodlords would be really strong against that infantry, against those tanks, but he has to be careful against those Vikings. So very interesting game we have here in between the two pros. A nice series, like I told you, best of 5 as we have passed the 10-minute mark. Really nice Ravager balls, but a nice Banshee micro, as MARU is also taking the upper right part. Let's have a look at his main once again. How many barracks does he have? Around 8. It's indeed 8 barracks. It is 1 starboard, 1 factory, so massive amounts of infantry it is going to be for him. We see the upgrades going up here in the left part. Once again we see MARU with a small infantry force. Lurkers are in position. High ground is now for MARU, but the Lurkers are nicely being spreaded. But in come the reinforcements from Dark. We see some Hydras just to snipe those medivacs. And let's see the next plans from MARU against his opponent. What exactly is going to happen, as more and more is being sent out here by Dark. This time just a couple of Zerglings, but those tanks are really nicely positioned in the back. Finally they're being targeted, but there's also many tanks here for MARU. I don't know if it would be wise. Of course we do see some harpoons by those Vipers, so that was the idea from Dark, but in the end the shots from those tanks really hurt the Zerg a lot. And now we once again see snipers. We do see those sniping going on against those units. Scans of those also really important. Once again the snipers are here and they will be able to take out quite some units. Of course the mining has been delayed, but yeah, the snipers will have a great time with that scan going out and with the medivacs backing them up. And even this one Banshee is even having a great time with 14 kills. Not that much anti-air here for Dark, as he's going to perhaps search for, yes indeed, a worm location with some Lurkers. But MARU is here with his infantry, as he's going to be able to push this back. So nice abusive gameplay here by both players. But yeah, MARU defending really nicely against his opponent. Another worm is being spawned, but yeah, MARU is here with his forces. So nice defense. Let's have a look. Dark also moving here forward once again for that gold mine, for a flank, but those tanks are nicely hidden in the back. Great EMP being used by MARU. Really great defense. Those ghosts, once again, hold on, those were Marauders. These are Marines. I'm still not able to pick up the ghosts. There they are, quite a nice force, 12 of them. Really great unit to have late on. And these tanks, of course, finally they're getting torpedoed back. But yeah, really strong forces by both players. And once again a worm comes out here. The tank not really able to shoot it down, but the worm with some Lurkers quite will make it. We also see the APM here from MARU pushing here, really strong. The adrenaline is really high as in comes Dark with his forces, with his Lurkers. But we see some Lurkers now, we see some Zerglings here, so the main from MARU is pretty much under siege. He brings back his units, he brings back his tanks, his Marines, his Marauders, his Ghosts, everything he has. At the same time he has to of course defend here, but the Ravagers dealing quite some damage. In come the snipers, so yeah, the sniper should be able to fend this off. Great raid once again by MARU, as he's trading once again, like I told you, mana, minerals and gas against those Lurkers. Yet another worm here by the Zerg. And let's see if he's going to be finished. No, the Marauder comes in with Stim. This should be cancelled, of course. Nice hold by MARU at the same time. This one Lurker must be sniped really soon. Yeah, there it is. Nice job once again MARU holding. Let's check the workers really quick. 78 for Dark, 64, but the army is quite overwhelmingly in favor for the Terran, as he's now pushing forward with his units. He even had once again some Liberators tanks with ghosts, and Dark responding with some lurkers, but he needs more and more Hydras. He even needs some Corruptors. Let's have a look. The infantry is in the front, the tanks are a little bit exposed, but still so many tanks in the back, and Dark doesn't see them. So much splash damage is being added by both players. In the end, a really strong engagement here in the middle of the map. Of course, the upper middle part is pretty much exposed now for Dark. This expansion is really very dangerously low here. Could be taken out by the Terran. At the same time, Dark changing his tactics. He's heading straight towards this location. MARU senses this as he just leaves a small group of Marines back just to make things unfold. Look, the lurkers have been bored. In come the Hydras to take out those medivacs. The high ground is there for MARU. Scans goes nicely out as some sniping has been done as well. And yes, 3 drones have been sniped here. But MARU just going to be add more and more units. We do see one lurker. The units are really much hurt. But yes, so much is being spreaded by the Terran. Let's have a look. The Dark also moving out here with his lurkers, but there's snipers here waiting for him to be engaged. So Dark has to pull back. He needs to be very careful against those units from the Terran. This gold mine sadly not producing here for Dark. We might see an engagement in the middle of the map. MARU is pretty much maxed out. Sadly, Dark still misses 40 supply as this expansion has been finished. And let's have a look. MARU might try to snipe his expansion, but his Marines pretty much exposed. His medivacs also, so the medivacs will fall. A good position this time for Dark as he has the high ground, but MARU has those ghosts, and yes indeed that has to be the GG. So 3-1 for MARU it is this time against his opponent, against Dark. Great series by him, showing us especially the force by ghosts and siege tanks with Liberators, also really nice. Dark playing really well with Zerglings and Banelings. Interestingly enough, he once again went for this Roach Ravagers and then later on Lurker Hydra. I believe Queens with Zerglings and Banelings are perhaps a much better idea against a Terran, but of course they will know much better here against me. So nice series we had here. Congratulations to MARU for taking it 3-1. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be seeing you of course in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.